Burning Road is a racing game developed by Toka, released for the PlayStation in 1997. And yes, from the first glance, it's basically a ripoff, or should I say a clone to the Sega famous Daytona USA. Then you select one of the 3 tracks, which is also what you see in Daytona. Then you select one of the few cars, and it's time to race. It's lights out and away we go. Just like Daytona, you are competing with other racers on the track. Reach the checkpoint, try to finish the race in time, finish first, and that's about the entire game itself. It don't control as good as Daytona, and every time you try to drift, it feels like it's on an ice. As a result, whenever you try to drift, you're gonna have to slow down a lot or you'll hit straight for the wall. There's a solution. By placing your car wheel parallel to the wall itself, you can bounce off the it and not lose too much speed at all.
Cheese.
As you can see here, I placed my car parallel to the wall and bam, my car just bounced off and I maintained my speed and I continue on. The game just so generous with that.
Cheese.
Yeah, the game will not punish you, you won't get 5-second penalty unless your name is Esteban Ocon. Go around, bounce off the wall, and you can win easily.
Cheese.
The soundtrack are pretty lackluster. While they parade the rock elements to it, they're pretty forgettable and not the good type of rock that you would jam to. And even if you play Daytona music to it, it will not fit well, so that's why it's a clone. A clone that don't have good soundtrack, no matter how hard you look at. The graphic, the road that's surrounding the walls also are pretty dated for a 1997 game that doesn't age well at all, and the car design as well also left a lot to be desired. Every tracks also have different themes. First up, you start off this village area with a windmill crossing the tunnel in the speedway zone. Then this one we go to the mountain section. And then this one you drive through this back alley with rain and thunderstorm and an airport in the nearby. And I guess that's the only redeeming value of the game for being a Daytona clone. Once you beat all 3 tracks, and that's about it. You don't unlock anything, just like Driver Air Race. That's all you got. 3 tracks, few cars, and that's about it. Nothing else, you unlock literally nothing, no special cars, no special tracks. It's what you got, that's it. Burning Road would then receive somewhat of a sequel titled Explosive Racing, which is basically Daytona clone, but this time it feels like you're going on a tour around the world, reminiscent of Cruising USA. Overall, it's an okay Daytona USA clone if you're craving for some Daytona USA, but if you're not looking to play Daytona USA, if you know what I mean. Speaking of which, why don't they just port Daytona USA 1 and 2 to modern console instead? What are you doing, Sega? Maximum Speed is an arcade racer developed by SuperMii and was released in 2002 for the arcade on the arcade board that is known as the Atomic Wave. Upon inserting the coin, you are presented with 3 different classes of vehicle, and because they are not licensed, let me just say they are the not sprint car, the not truck series, and the not Indy car. You then can choose between 3 different styles, whether you want a fast speed, regular, neutral, or even more grip to the car. But spoiler alert, they all control pretty much the same anyway. And then you select the track and it's time to race. It's lights out and away we go. Just like Daytona USA, this clone needs no any explanation. Yada yada yada, you know the drill. Everything else though look pretty okay-ish. The cars, the crowd, the surrounding, and everything as a whole just doesn't feel like you're going at a fast speed. There's nothing special about it. Unlike Daytona, where you feel like you're going places. Apart from your graphical fidelity, there's also the racing itself. This time around, you have one annoying AI that stick right behind you. All the time. The rubber banding here is absurdly unfair. Even though there's rubber banding in Daytona, it's not as bad as here. As you can see, the AI always able to catch up with you, even if you crash down multiple times. Like seriously, I spawned down multiple times and they always come back unscathed. He keeps coming back just to piss you off, and it's not fun watching him stealing the podium at the last minute. What is this, Max Verstappen? I don't need real life problem to creep into my game, okay? What a fucking loser, man. Get him off my back! The controls for the most part do what it should do. It doesn't matter which controller you use, whether a D-pad, analog stick, or even a steering wheel. They are pretty okay according to your input. But what's not okay is the sound effect. Someone definitely took a note from Gran Turismo because every time you make the car turn towards a direction, the tires screech like crazy. Like look at this. It is pretty annoying when you try to make a turn and then a screech comes in to ruin your ear. It's already bad enough with the music being really bland, with nothing really memorable to keep you entertained, and now you have to make it so that we hear the sound of the miserable tires? Why? Let's not forget that the tracks themselves are also uninspiring, featuring oval, road cars, and more oval. It really feels like the developer have no creative mindset developing this game. It's even worse when most, if not all of them, uses the same approach. You don't need to step on the brake pedal even once. As you can see here, you use the steering wheel and turn as much as you can, and there you go. You were able to navigate through the courses without much of a problem. It's like the developer added a drifting mechanic, but also at the last minute they forgot to implement it well, so they just left it there. There's nothing about the game that makes you want to come back for more. Maximum Velocity DaytoNight XL is developed and published by Lockstock Games, released in 2015 for the mobile devices. And hey, don't click away. Okay, don't get distracted by the poor presentation here just because it's a mobile. Because what's up ahead is awesome. You select quick race, select a track, and select a car, and prepare for a race that you will never forget. It's lights out and away we go! As soon as you start the race, You can already feel the adrenaline flowing through your blood as the gameplay remains as close to being faithful to the source material from 1994. Speeding down a long straightway? Yeah, here we go. Drifting around each turns? Well, there you go. Both of which, when combined together, form a long-lasting experience. It's everything I wanted from a Daytona game. Like I said, don't judge a book by its cover, or should I say, don't judge a game despite being a mobile devices. Yeah, sure, the graphic left a little bit desired considering it's a mobile handheld, but come on, the gameplay itself, the department-wise, pretty much fixed most of the problem from the beginning. There are a bunch of tracks to be selected from the game, and if you pay close attention, you can see some of a resemblance to the Daytona counterpart. You start with a speedway that mimics Daytona beginner. Then you have this alpine section here that reminds you of advanced courses. And you have this city track that reminds you of Daytona Expert track. Also worth mentioning is Daytona USA 2. You wanna race at the theme park? Well, here we go. The developer clearly played enough of Daytona and used that as the inspiration to be used in this project. They themselves know what they were doing with this game and they end up giving 100% on their commitment. Apart from the tracks, you also have 3 cars in terms of difficulties. The easiest one lets you drift at your own will, while the hardest one, well, you need to put more effort to turn the car because it's hard to handle. Just like Daytona USA 2, where you select the level of the car. The total of 7 tracks did not get old, as you will find enjoyment for every single one of them. You will find different ways to tackle them, and find different ways to set the fastest lap from your previous one. But unfortunately though, you don't unlock anything else after the end, which is a lame thing. But hey, the rest of the game where you drift around, trying to get back the old Daytona flavor, is there waiting for you. And while I agree there are some aspects that are missing, like the graphic, some of the soundtrack being a little bit on the mediocre side, the rest just satisfied me already. It's certainly better than Maximum Speed, and certainly slightly better than Burning Roads. And in my opinion, this is without doubt the best Daytona USA clone I ever played. I highly recommend this game if you love Daytona USA. Oh wait, you can't. That's all I gotta say for this video. If you enjoyed what you see, be sure to like, share, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so that you won't miss a thing. Comment below your favorite Daytona USA clone. Have you played them? Do you like them? What's your opinion on them? Let's have a some discussion. Thank you for watching. Or excuse me while I wait endlessly for Sega to port Daytona to modern console.